Hello. There we go. Now you can hear me. We are Skyline Aikens here with you at in Pierce City as we are in a new and unique location. We are down on the field just beyond the end zone down here in Pierce in the east end zone here in Pierce City as the Miller Cardinals are set to take on the Pierce City Eagles in a matchup that has a lot riding on it in terms of district seating. The Eagles currently sit at number 3 in the or number 5 in the district, while the Miller Cardinals took a jump up last week, moving from number 9 up to number 7. But they look to jump up even further. They want to host a first round game. They have an opportunity to make a huge statement here tonight in Pierce City, and if they are able to do that, then they got an opportunity. Pierce City looking to doing the same in terms of district seating as they are looking to move on up as well. Just from the 5th place spot up to potentially moving past Ash Grove and Windsor as we go ahead and take a quick look at our district standings. Marionville, Adrian, Ash Grove, Windsor, Pierce City, Midway, Lincoln, Miller, Skyline, and Kabul is your district standings with just 2 weeks left to play here. It's week 7 already, or week 8 already. I mean, can you believe that? It seems like just yesterday we were starting our first our doing our first game, and here we are just about finished up. Looking at the Southwest Conference standings, Marionville leads the way 7-0. They take on Ash Grove tonight, which will be a battle for if Marionville wins this one, they will lock up the conference title yet again. So it's gonna be a big game there in Ash Grove tonight. Stockton right behind him, 6-1, 4-1 in conference. Pierce City, Sircoxie, Miller comes in at 2-4 for the season after a big win against Skyline last week. Skyline and Diamond each searching for their first win of their season here in conference. Taking a look what's going on around the Southwest Conference tonight. Miller right here in Pierce City, we got you covered for that action. Marionville, number 1, taking on number 7, Ash Grove, and Pirate Country. So this may be an opportunity for the Marionville Comets to get knocked off a week ahead of Miller taking on the Comets next Friday night for senior night and military appreciation night. Sircoxie will take on the Diamond Wildcats, and in Stockton, the Skyline Tigers make the trip for their first battle in in Southwest Conference play. Looking at the Class 1 rankings, Marionville sits at number 1, St. Vincent, Adrian, Tipton, Windsor. Windsor, we are already talked about being there, and Adrian, they're being in the atop the district standings up going into this week. Van Far, Ash Grove, Milan, Salisbury, and Western. So I just want to go ahead and give you guys a quick little disclaimer. As you can see, obviously we are out here. We did not have a very good setup here in Pierce City. But I'll try to refrain from saying too much about that. However, without power down here, we are going to have to do something that I hate to do, and we're going to have to be an audio only broadcast once the game starts. You'll still see the graphics. You'll still, I'm debating if I want you to see me up here in this top corner right up here or not. Probably will refrain from that as being down here on the field is going to be hard enough to judge down in distance and see who's carrying the ball anyway. So last thing you want to see is me jumping up and down. So just so you know, nothing's wrong with what you're watching the broadcast on. It is just the cards were dealt here this week, and we're going to make the best out of it. Miller coming in off their second win of the season against Skyline, and what a game it was. It started, Miller won the toss that he elected to defer. They decided to go onside it with a true freshman kicking the ball. Gerald Mart got the onside kick that ultimately resulted in a 5-yard touchdown run by Nate Hill, gave Miller the early lead. They held Skyline to a punt, but then the wheels would come off for the Miller Cardinals, and they came off in a hurry. The first play of that following drive resulted in a fumble by Nate Hill. Skyline would capitalize with a 30-yard touchdown run by Quentin Butts. They would miss the extra point, however. Miller would still hold a 7-6 lead. However, the first play of the next Miller possession, a fumble. Caden Calvin and Nate Hill couldn't quite get the exchange on a handoff. Ball hits the turf. Skyline recovers. Skyline finds the end zone again with a 6-yard touchdown run by Carter King. That would, in fact, give the Skyline Tigers a lead 12-7 there about midway through that opening quarter. It wasn't over yet for the Miller offensive woes, as an interception on the next possession capped off 3 first-half turnovers by the Miller Cardinals. The defense was able to step up and was able to force a punt there. After a couple of punts, Miller would get back on the board thanks to a 56-yard run by Caden Calvin, his longest of the season. Wouldn't quite find pay dirt. He would get caught there at about the 4-yard line. And a couple plays later, it was about the 14-yard line. A couple plays later, Nate Hill was able to punch it in. 15-12 was the score. Miller took the lead back after Hill would find Jared Lung for a 2-point conversion. Skyline responded right back with a 20-yard touchdown pass from Carter King to Mason Bebo with 2 minutes and 46 seconds left. 18-15 Skyline would lead. But Miller would go into the half with the lead thanks to a 6-yard touchdown run by Nate Hill, 22-18. After that, it was pretty much all Miller. A 16-yard touchdown pass, or touchdown run by Jared Long. Long got used in the backfield quite a bit last week, so I'm interested to see if they continue to do that here this week. 97 yards on the ground for Long. 30-18. Then touchdowns by Caden Calvin, another one to Jared Long, and then a late touchdown by Skyline. 44-24 was your final. And I mean, the run game was immaculate for the Miller Cardinals. Caden Calvin, 120 yards and a touchdown. Nate Hill had 103 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Jared Long had 97 yards and a touchdown as well. So they are looking to build off of it. What was a fantastic game down there in Skyline. I know the boys celebrated in a very unique way, but you've heard what happened. Now this is how it looked. Taking over kicking duties, and he's going to pop it straight up. And if that went 10 yards, that's Miller's ball. Man in motion, that was Calvin, and Hill's going to run up the middle, and he is in. Touchdown, Cardinals. 5-yard touchdown run by Nate Hill. He was scrambling to the outside. And this one is going to be kicked to the outside. It's going to be number 1, Mason Bilbo. And he's going to be attacked and brought down. I think it was, the punter probably could have done a little bit of acting and got that call. Nate Hill is going to keep it himself. And the ball comes out, recovered by the Tigers. Twists and turns and momentum in the game of football is a crazy thing. As ball to Quentin Butts up the middle, Shen tackles, and first play of the series is a touchdown for the Tigers. And that fumble proves to be costly as Miller takes the ball back over here, looking to, and the ball comes out again. Skyline football, that time it was Calvin. And the first down play, keeper by King, and this one is good for a touchdown. Live to play another down. Hill's going to scramble out to the left here. He's going to look deep and overthrown and intercepted. The third turnover of this opening quarter. Chance to have a full drive. And Bebo with the ball on the screen pass, and it's not going to matter. He's going to score. Touchdown, Tigers. Empty backfield here. Jared Long in motion, and Hill's going to go up the middle. Dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Cardinals. Hill split backfield here. Jared Long and Caden Calvin. This one's going to go to Long up the middle, and he breaks a tackle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Jared Long takes the handoff from number 9.
16 yards. And this one going to Calvin up the middle. He dives. Touchdown, Cardinals.
For 24, kicking Pullmans to the middle of the field, having a little conversation about pretty much all the personal fouls that's going on. I bet you're close up to 20 dirty laundry on the field tonight. It is absolutely
crazy. It's a good ball game, but
Hill hands off to Calvin. Calvin, big hole here. He's going. He's got space. He's brought down at the 35. About 30, 45 seconds. And this one, big carry there by Long. He's going to make the nice little slice and dice and through the Skyline Tigers defense. 36-yard touchdown run by
Hill back in the game. And he is going to, and that's going to do it. Another Cardinals 44. And Tigers 24. The Cardinals can't score on senior night and pick up a huge district win ahead of the district tournament. The Cardinals move to 2-5 for the season. And
that concludes
3 in conference. I'm so excited for just a moment.
That feels great.
So, that's Rocky. Obviously, you went down, scored the touchdown first, then 2 runs in the next 3 possessions. Just what was being said, and how were you guys able to bounce back?
I mean, we didn't say much. We just.
That is how it looked from Skyline last week. We're going to go ahead and play those interviews during halftime. We're starting to run down on time here. About 29 minutes left until game time. And we got a lot to go over, starting with, got to talk with both of these, the coaches leading up to this one. Jim Ginsler, a brilliant defensive mind, has been a little bit of everywhere here as of late. He was a longtime defensive coordinator at Ozark before taking the head coaching job at Clever for about 3 years. He was there for 3 years and then decided to part ways with the Blue Jays. He went down to Cassville, where he was the defensive coordinator there for just 1 season last year before taking the head job here at Pierce City. And let me tell you, Jim Ginsler, he's definitely done a number for these Pierce City Eagles. They've only allowed 28 points twice so far this season. That coming in their opener against Houston in a 49-32 or 49-42 overtime victory for the Houston Tigers, and then against Marionville a couple weeks ago. So their defense is legit. The Miller Cardinals are going to have a tall task ahead of them. But we sat down with Coach Ginsler and Coach Derek Hill of the Miller Cardinals and to see what they had to say leading up to this one. What is going on, everybody? Skyline Akins, Southwest Missouri Sports here with the head coach of the Pierce City Eagles, Jim Ginsler. First off, thanks for taking a little bit of time out of your day to come and talk with us.
Yeah, thank you, Skyline, for having me on and reaching out.
So let's kind of take a look back. You guys are 4-3, kind of been a rejuvenated Pierce City team, already doubled the wins from a year ago. And a couple of wins have been pretty impressive, there early on, including that 18-0 win over Sircoxie early on. Just kind of take us through, this first part of the season.
It kind of goes back to the summer when we kind of had our kids. We met with the seniors, and they basically said, we just want to win. And coach, we'll do whatever it takes to to win. And I said, well, guys, it's going to take a lot of work, and that's going to take you guys stepping up and being leaders. And it's because it means a lot coming from fellow teammates, not just the coaches trying to push something, but when the kids are off direction, then that kind of brings along a lot of the younger kids too. And the seniors bought into that. They worked all summer. The attendance was great. And even though I know they hated some of the stuff that we did over the summer, the conditioning and all that stuff, they we just kept trying to tell them that like it's going to pay off. This work, the work you put in does pay off. Is that always equal in the wins and losses? Not necessarily, but I mean it's we're working toward that direction. And and we kind of went into the season just like, let's just keep trying to improve. Let's get a week better. And we started off, week 1 versus Houston, and had a tough one. Houston really good, and I was kind of worried because we got down to nothing, and then I was kind of curious to see how our kids were going to respond. And they did. We're up at half, and then it turned into kind of a shootout in the second half, and they ended up beating us. And then I think our kids kind of came away from that one like, hey, like we can compete, we can score some points, we can do some things. And then Diamond came in and we came back and had a great week of practice, and we had a good showing and executed well week 2. And then we go to Sarcoxy and then just the rivalry of things, and our kids went up there and executed really well, and it would be a good Sarcoxy team. And then we've kind of been back and forth a little bit. Like we lost a tough one, Ash Grove, and then we came back and beat Skyline, and then we kind of went over to Marionville. This kind of, and I was kind of a litmus test for us, just kind of see how we match up with like the best in Class 1 right now. And I thought our kids competed really well. I mean, we were within one score for a while and stuff, and so the kids they've been great. I mean, everything we've asked them to do, they've done, and they've responded, and they kind of said, "Coach, what else can we do?" And so it's been great. The community's been great here too. They love their football here in Pierce City, and so they're all in, and so it's something cool that's kind of for us, being a whole new staff coming in and get to experience that, and just seeing how hungry for one, the kids were, but two, like the community was just to like, all right, coach, what can we do to help you? And let's try and make this thing successful. So it's been really good so far. So
absolutely. And and you mentioned some of that senior class, and you can't go too far without talking about Evan Salazar, your running back. He's really made a name for himself as one of the top backs in the entire conference. Just kind of talk about like what he brings to your guys' offense.
Well, consistency. I mean, it starts with like you kind of know what you're going to get out of Evan. Every day he works the same way in practice, the weight room, and during games and stuff too. And the thing is, he's a very humble kid too. So he would give most of this credit to the offensive line, for his success about them blocking and opening stuff up for him. But he's he's just a very talented kid. I think I was telling somebody the other day. I mean, he is fast enough to get by you, but he's also strong enough. If he needs to go get 2 or 3 yards, he can go do that as well. And but I think his best attribute is his vision. He, for a back, he sees really well, and for what we're doing schematically is really kind of helped, and he's really bought into it because he likes the kind of the freedom because we're more zone. And so if he sees something, he can cut back, or if he sees something, if he needs to balance it, he can balance it. And I think that has helped not only this success for him, but also our offensive line as well, where, if they stay on their backs and block well, they know that Evan's going to find, something that could potentially open up either backside or play side or vice versa.
Well, Coach, you kind of made a name for yourself, through the last, last decade or so. It's kind of one of the top defensive minds in the area. And kind of the turnaround that you've seen, already year 1 of this Pierce City team has been impressive. You only allowed 25 points or more just twice this season. That coming against Marionville and that Houston shootout that you were kind of talking about. Just kind of talk about what's been working for this unit.
Well, they bought it, and what's funny is like kids like the blitz, and that's one thing that I've always kind of gravitated towards. I like to put kids on the move, and so they bought into that, and it's just it's just the great. I mean, it kind of comes back to. I mean, it's the kids that are making the plays, and they and they're willing to. I see guys we can get lined up. We know what we're looking at, and we know how we're going to attack it. And but then it comes down to, are you willing to run to the football? And then when we get there, we tackle it. And they've just kind of bought into that, and it's kind of been fun. And then like with all our like our checks or our, just different things that we, to the scouting report and key players and just kind of in the film time. And so they've done a lot of that extra work too. That's kind of helped them when it comes to the game of playing faster. They've done their homework not only during practice but outside of practice too. And so that's been a part of their buy-in as well. Is like they're willing to do that extra stuff to kind of help them get that advantage that we need, so we can make adjustments on Fridays or do different things, and they're able to execute that stuff.
So, obviously you've had a chance to, coach Eli for the last couple of years, but you got another familiar face on the staff this year in Taylor. Just how much fun has it been to be able to, share, go through this season with both your sons?
Oh gosh, I wouldn't trade it for anything. When I got this, and Taylor's, still got 1 year of school left, but I mean, he helped us at Clever, but having him on full-time staff, having one son in that capacity and then the other son, you're coaching, if you were on the same Zoom call with them, they may tell you different. Oh my gosh, my dad, he yells at me all the time. But no, for anything, it's just great. I mean, just to see being able to hang out with your kids in that capacity, and and for us, we're still able to separate it too. When we leave here, then we just go back to being dad and son and do different things, and we try and separate that as much as we can. Like during season it's tough, but no, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's something we'll always have memory wise and cherish. So.
Absolutely. So looking ahead to tomorrow night, this Miller team is when they're at their best offensively, they're able to kind of stay balanced. But over the last 2 week span, 2 weeks ago against Sarcoxy, they had their top passing output. Last week they had their top rushing output of the season. Just kind of talk about what you've seen on them on tape, in your scouting.
Yeah, I mean, kind of you hit it. They're very balanced. And they're going to present a challenge, because anytime a team is balanced, it's tough to prepare for. And tendency wise, they do a great job. And the quarterback, the Hill kid, he can run and throw as a running back, and they're good up front. They got a couple good receivers. So yeah, with the balance of things, it makes it tough. And that's where a lot of our kids are going to have to execute really well and read their keys and be disciplined, what they see and how they attack it. So yeah, Miller's going to be a really big challenge for us tomorrow night.
Yeah. So Coach Hill, last, with number 3, Jared Long kind of being the, being the cog in the engine that makes this Miller offense run, moved him from receiver to kind of a tailback last week, and he ended up having a lot of success. So just kind of that Swiss Army knife kind of guy that I'm sure. I'm not a defensive coordinator. I'm not a football coach, but I'm sure that's got to be difficult to prepare for.
Yeah, when you have those type of kids that you can move around and do different things, it makes it tough, and because they like you said, they can line up in the backfield and they can do certain things out of that, or he can be a receiver, and it is, and for them, it's kind of an easy fix. They just move one kid around and they can do some different things. But on the defensive side, it looks so different. I mean, you're looking at it, there's 2 backs, but now number 3's back there, and now he's a receiver. They're in doubles, and so that's just for your kids. Like for us, just trying. We're attacking them and we're doing our stuff, but we're keeping it simple at the same time, because in the end, we're coaching high school kids, and and you want to keep it simple so they play fast, and so they can be aggressive, because the more thinking that the kids are doing with all the different stuff. And the thing is, with offenses today too, there's so much stuff to defend, and that's where kids you just gotta, they make sure they're lined up, make sure they know what they're looking at, and if there's any big tendency stuff, if number 3 is in this spot or if he's in this spot, they're probably doing this, and then and then just let them just react to go play, and that's the one thing. As I've gotten older, I've realized that more is like for us as coaches, we can put all this stuff up on the whiteboard. Looks great. But in the end, can your 15, 16, 17-year-old kid take this stuff and then go execute it?
Right.
And that's what it comes down to. And so for us, we are well aware of the lung kid and especially last week backfield and different things. And so hopefully we're prepared and we defend him well, no matter where he's at, for them.
And then final question, it's every coach's goal that you go 1-0 every single week. What are some of the keys that you guys are going to have to make sure that you accomplish to go 1-0 here this week?
Yeah, I think the big thing, for us, I always talk to our kids, you talked about being 1-0, but like for us, it's just like, can we be week 8 better? Like each week we're trying to get better. And when the stuff, our mistakes have been going through the year, and that's kind of been our message with our kids is like up front, offensive line. Are we blocking stuff better than we did last week? Are we executing? Are we getting to the right guy? Our skill guys, are they executing plays? And then quarterback, you reading the right stuff. On defense, are we tackling better? And are we covering stuff better? Are we seeing stuff better? And then, I think it comes down to just like any football game, we got to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. I think that'll be a big thing, especially with their balance. We can make them one-dimensional and make them start throwing it more than they're running it. And I think that'll help us. That'll kind of tip the scale a little bit on what they're wanting to do. And for us offensively, can we control the line of scrimmage? And, can we get our guys, can we get Evan, 5 yards, 6 yards, to control the clock? And that's kind of been our success throughout the years. Our offense has done a really good job of time management and taking care of the ball. And then special teams, like us, can we execute, our kickoff coverage and our punts but just the things that you're trying to gear up to, because we're in week 8 and, here in a couple of weeks, we'll be in district time, and that's when you want to be playing your best football anyway. And so that's kind of been our goal all year. It's like, let's just keep getting better at what we do. And like I said, hopefully we're playing our best ball here in a couple of weeks.
Well, Coach, thank you for taking your time. I'm excited to see, it's been a few years since I got to see you out on the sideline, going back to the Clever days when I was doing out there. And so I'm excited to see you guys once again. I'm excited to go give Taylor a hard time on, before the game starts. So,
sure. So please do.
Well, you've been watching the pregame drive here on Southwest Missouri Sports. We're going to kick it down to some of our sponsors before we catch up with Coach Derek Hill.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the number 3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins.
What's going on, everybody? Skylan Akins here with Southwest Missouri Sports, joined once again by the head coach of the Miller Cardinals, Derek Hill.
Hey, man.
So, going back to last week, that game had a little bit of just about everything. After a roller coaster first quarter. You guys were able to, on paper, look like a pretty solid win, 44-24. I just kind of take us back through last weekend.
It's we wanted to try to respond after having two close games, games that we thought maybe we could have pulled out, and and actually try to respond to the opportunity of trying to establish the running game.
Yep.
And the kids bought into that, and we had 3 drives right in a row. There was 2 fumbles and a pick that just really kind of thought, here we are again. But the kids just they find ways to get back in football games like they have all year, and but just the way we did it was very satisfying because our line is better than what we've probably gotten credit for and what we've shown at times, and it was really, really nice. And back play does help that, but the line did a good job of picking up because teams are just bringing heat on us, and real proud of them for what they how we did it, and what we did by the end of the game.
Yeah, 1 week after setting a season high in passing, you set a season high within rushing. I mean, just what did you see out of the matchup, and how were you able to exploit it?
We thought still there's opportunities with our athletes out on the edge, but we changed some dynamics in the backfield to get 2 athletes, quick athletes in the backfield, and that really, really helped. And teams were keying on us because of the way we were lined up in the backfield. And so this balances it, where you can't just like, okay, hey, they're lined up one way. This is where it's going. And so we wanted to adjust that, but it was we weren't going to go away from it. We still looked at the pass and did some of those throughout the game, but was able to establish that run in a different dynamic and not just one formation. It was in multiple formations, but that's the identity we looked to have in the beginning of the year, and it was nice to finally get that established in part of the season we're in.
Yeah, well, Friday night you guys played hard and then celebrated hard afterwards. You kind of took me through the story of the Waffle House visit, off air, but just fill me in again about how that kind of became a rallying cry for you.
Coach Gerald, he was coached here back in 2000. I think it was about 13 is when he came in, and it was just something he brought. Coach Gerald had a ridiculous amount of enthusiasm, and so he came in and we kind of started that Waffle House, and anytime we kind of morphed it into kind of the pancake side. And you see today world they do that, but this was back in 13, and we're going Waffle House, and then everybody yelled, let's eat. And so that was kind of when we would break to go do our team meal on Thursdays. That was our breakdown. That was it. That was our Thursday deal. And then there was another time we had a senior night, and that we were going Waffle House. I think it was 15 Waffle House. Let's eat. Everybody was chanting that as the seniors were walking out. So it was kind of cool. The kids have bought in, and we've been doing this kind of on when we do King of the Board stuff, and when a guy would get pancaked, that was everybody's just yelling it. And so the kids have done that since Mighty Mites, and so it's kind of carried up through it. And one of the kids, Owen Dempster, he asked, hey, can we go to Waffle House after, when we win? And I'm like, absolutely. We thought, well, we might be there forever because there's not that many seats, but, it's not like it's fast food. And we were there forever. But it was really cool. It was a great experience, and something, the kids will, remember for the rest of their lives. So.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something that's going to stick with them. Yeah. Back in my day, it was McDonald's or we were going home. Yeah. So that was definitely a cool memory, for, to make with this group of guys.
Mm-hmm.
But, kind of going back to the game, we talked a little bit about the run game, against Sir Cox. You got the passing going. This week you had 3 players that was either, just shy of 100 yards rushing or at 100 yards with Caden, Nate, and Jared. Just when you start thinking about how other teams are going to start preparing for you, just having so many playmakers, just
How has that made you guys difficult to prepare for?
I mean, it really does, because if you go into the back, if you got a heavy backfield, you got three guys that at any point can run the football and break free, and so it's hard to plan for that. And this is kind of envisioned with this group when you have so many athletes is you can do a bunch of different things, and it's taken us to here to finally catch that wind, but we were able to do it in a lot of different formations, and it gives Caden. It pushed Caden to run hard, really hard. J-Rod runs, he does everything at a speed, but it made Caden push even harder. And then, when guys are keying on those two, we were able to run Nate with some designed runs, and it's very tough because, you have to account for three guys just as a run game. And then that's not counting for the other athletes out on the edge, and wide receivers and not. So it's really helped us when they can show that athleticism. It really shows, how dynamic our offense can be, and potentially when, we take care of it and we keep the football more than, a few plays.
So the win last week kind of set you up for a big time showdown when it comes to district seeding, with Pierce City. But, I know we talked a lot about it, Friday night, but just in terms of, just getting ready for that postseason run, just how big was, getting a win like that?
And it's huge for the momentum going into this, because ultimately your goal is still to win a district championship and win games in district and then get to the district championship and so on. And to not get a win last week, really, it puts a lot of stress on the coaching staff is to keep pushing, to keep your head down and stay focused at the goals you're doing. And we've had to do that so much throughout the year because we're so close, and we just shoot ourselves in the foot. We've had to do that each week, and then for us to finally put things together, after the first quarter, but put things together and to get that that momentum is huge, because now they believe that everything you've been preaching, they believe it. And then now we're going into, you needed that momentum to go into a game against Pierce City, who's very, very good. They're physical, a great running back, and physical and huge. But we need this helps us even more than what we could have done without having that win.
Yeah, let's get right into Pierce City. Obviously, it's no surprise that Salazar is kind of be their focal point of their offense. 1,200 yards on the ground already. Just what have you seen from them on tape and in your preparation leading up?
They play like Pierce City that I grew up watching, that I've grown up coaching against. They are Pierce City, and that's kudos to the community. You got a new coach. He's brought a little more, probably a little new fresh flavor, I guess you want to say, to it. Yeah. But they are Pierce City. They're big, they're physical, and they play hard. And that is Pierce City, and that's why I like it. Because that was, if you go back to early 2000s, the Newsleader put out a top 10 rivalries in Southwest Missouri, and it was Miller-Pierce City. And the 90s, that was us. The 80s, and then you go into 2000s, and then in the 2010, 11, 12, man, we had some great battles of top 5 in the state teams. And so they are who we thought they were. Still a line from Denny Green, but Salazar's, man, he's a great running back. He runs the ball hard. He's low center of gravity. He's going to be a load, and he's got some really good linemen to block for him. But even if he didn't have a line, he's a really good running back, and he makes things happen on his own.
Yeah, you kind of hit touched on that rivalry aspect of this one. As I've become more familiar with the community of Miller, all the older alumni, it's always, Pierce City is the number one rival. Pierce City's, if you have to win one game, you can go 1-8 as long as you beat Pierce City. What are you telling your kids leading up to this rivalry game when so much is on the line, in terms of that seating position.
I mean, there should be motivation because it's a rivalry, and it's good, clean rivalry. That's just, you see it at all levels of sports and especially football. And this is a good, clean one, and it's really, and that motivation is there just because of that. But now you put in the district seating ramifications into this, and where we could end up, either one of us with a win moves in an even better situation when it comes to district seating. Are you hosting? Are you, who you're going against? So that's, you double that motivation in there. And so, that's what we're stressing. A, it's Pierce City Week. B, with its district, district layout week as well. So, that's the motto of the week.
Yeah. Getting back with to the Eagles, we talked a lot about Salazar and kind of what it's going to take to stop him. Just what are we doing defensively to, you definitely faced some powerful run attacks, and this one almost reminds me, maybe not quite the versatility of a Sircoxy, but definitely the caliber of back as we saw in Noah Garrison a few weeks ago.
No, absolutely. That's what I just told them today. Actually, is Salazar is another version of Garrison, and that was who we keyed on to try to stop. And if you want to win a football game, you have to stop number 9, and you had to try to limit 33 for Sircoxy. And but that is 100%, is our game plan, is to, wherever he's at on the field, you've got to go ahead, but you got to you got to put yourself in a really good position to tackle, to get him down. Because if you come in at the wrong angle, the wrong height, there's no way you're going to get him down because of his power, his lower center of gravity, and he'll just run you over. But that's our key, is our defense is lined up to do the best to try to limit him to the best of our ability. And that's a tall task. Not many teams have done it,
Yeah.
Maybe not any, but they've limited him enough to put him.
We are going to go ahead and break in from that interview, as it is game time here. The Miller Cardinals won the toss, elected to kick the ball. And if you had missed me, my spiel earlier on, I just want to go ahead and just say you're gonna have to bear with me here tonight, as we are in a new location down here on the field. So it's going to be we'll say interesting, to say the least, as for a number of different reasons. So here we are, and due to no power, we are going to be an audio only broadcast, and the short kick is going to be caught there by number 23, Layden Mack. So it's going to be an audio only broadcast. We'll still have our graphics and everything throughout the game. However, you're just going to see a black screen for most of it. And I apologize for that. And unfortunately, there's just nothing that we could do about it. So Pierce City's going to take the ball over first. Thing you got to know about Pierce City is number 9, Evan Salazar, has been fantastic. Already has over 1,200 rushing yards early on in this season, as he's going to get the first carry of the ball game. He's going to go to the outside. He's going to be brought down by Owen Dempster, and a flag's going to be thrown. I think that's going to be a horse collar tackle. And it is going to be a horse collar. That's going to go from a and I didn't see how far they had gotten before that. How many yards Salazar got on that opening play, but just like that, Pierce City is in business, as they are up to the 36-yard line, and this one is going to go back to Salazar. He's going to break up the middle and going to be brought down. Oh, that's not Salazar. That's going to be number 10, Mekhi Kleibacher. Brought down by Jared Long. That's going to be a gain of 12 for Kleibacher. Actually, a gain of 11 for Kleibacher. Salazar in the backfield for the Eagles on the 25-yard line. His Miller defense already on their heel, have their heels on the goal line, and good tackle there by Brody Brinker. Salazar tackle was the ball carrying. He brought down for a gain of about 6. It's gonna be King Calvin on the carry, not Rinker. They're gonna call it a gain of 7. Pierce City, I'm sitting in the east end zone right now facing the field. And pass is going to be thrown from Ginsler out to Kleibacher. And Kleibacher is in for the touchdown. And Pierce City marches down the field. And Eli Ginsler finds Kleibacher for a 15-yard touchdown on his first pass attempt of the game. $15-yard touchdown pass, capping off a 45-yard drive after a penalty on the opening kickoff. And kick is up. Kick is through the uprights. 7-0 is the score. We're going to step aside for just a second. You're watching high school football, or you're listening to high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Hello, everybody. Skyline Akins with Southwest Missouri
Taking
Sports.
over kicking duties, and he's going to pop it straight up. And welcome back to Pierce City, Missouri, where the Eagles have taken a early lead. Just a minute and 16 seconds have come off the clock as before Pierce City was able to find the end zone. 23, Leighton Mack back to kick for the Eagles, and it's gonna be a little pooch kick, and it's gonna be caught there by number 12 of the Cardinals, Jack Shearer. Be brought down for a short gain. Cruz Ibarra on the tackle. Miller in their road whites, gray helmets, gray pants. Pierce City white tops, green jerseys, and gray pants. Kind of looking like the old 1960s Philadelphia Eagles. Kind of the Kelly Green look. First and 10 for the Miller Cardinals. And me, Caden Calvin on the carry, or Jared Long on the carry. We were talking about if it was going to be if Long was going to get some run back at the that split backfield look that Miller likes to run. A lot of this season it's been Owen Dempster, but last week they threw in their senior lead playmaker, Jared Long, and he has made a big difference with 97 yards last week. Hill's going to look to throw. He's going to find Blake Walters. Walters brought down. Big time tackle there for a loss. Landon Stanfield in on the tackle. And actually, it's going to be no gain. Bring up a Quick 3rd and 10 from the 44-yard line. Beautiful night here for some high school football. Little chilly, had to throw on the hoodie. Got a heavier jacket if need be. But all in all, a gorgeous night. Nate Hill back to pass. He's going deep and nobody home. That's a big time miscommunication. I don't know if it was Owen Weiss or Jared Lung, the intended receiver, but I'll tell you, I was closer to that pass than anybody else. That's going to bring up a 4th and 10 and the punt team for the Miller Cardinals, and that is not how you're wanting to start the game for if you're the Miller Cardinals. Owen Weiss back to punt. And it takes a backwards bounce, and then it's going to sit at about the 20-yard line. Pretty good, solid punt there by Owen Weiss. Weiss has really grown and has become a lethal weapon as a punter. That's going to bring back out the Pierce City offense, who marched down the field first time out there as Mackay Kleibacher accounted for 26 total yards, one for a 15-yard touchdown reception. Kyler McWilliams in at quarterback, going to hand this one off to Salazar. Salazar right up the middle and brought down by a flock of Cardinals. And it looked like Brody, or number 34, Colton Brown, was in on that tackle along with Charlie Langston. Gain of 4 there for Salazar. The key for the Miller Cardinals in this one is you're going to have to limit Salazar. He has been fantastic, one of the best running backs in the entire conference. And flag is thrown, and it's going to be an illegal procedure. Or a false start. That's going to push the Eagles back even further. Second and 11 from the 23-yard line. Just want to say thank you again to everybody tuning in for Friday Night Football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. We are here in Pierce City as they are taking on the Miller Cardinals in a big district matchup here. And Salazar is going to make Calvin miss. And I'm telling you, Salazar is shifty as all get out. He just picked out about a gain of 8 out of nothing. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for this Miller defense. Salazar, not very big. About 5'8", 5'7", 5'8", but he is quick, he is shifty, and he can make you miss. And he made Caden Calvin miss right there. McWilliams throwing incomplete. He was looking for, and he had his man, Mackay Kleibacher, and he overthrew him just a little bit, and that's going to be a break for the Miller defense. Kyler McWilliams, and as a senior, he shares quarterback duties with number 6, Eli Ginsler. And the punt team is out, and punt is up there by number 23, Leighton Mack, and is going to be returned by Walters. And ball comes out. And Miller recovers. I couldn't see who dove on it, but it looks like Jared Lung dove on the ball, and Miller avoids a huge mistake there. 7:12 remaining in this opening quarter of play. 7-0 your score. Pierce City marched down the field on the first drive of the game and scored a touchdown. And since then, we've had a couple punts. Miller looking to get something going here on their second drive of the game. Calvin on a carry had a hole and tries to run over the safety. It's going to be brought down. It's like just short. It'd be a gain about 9.5. 2nd and 1. As we are approaching that midway point in this opening quarter. Nate Hill with the split backfield. Calvin and Long in the, actually just one in the backfield. And it's going to be a run there by Calvin. Looks like it's going to be enough for a first down. Gain of about 3. And that Miller offense has got their first down of the game. Brought down by Brock Olivier, a transfer in from Louisiana. Got name spelt like Oliver, but it is Olivier. Hill looks back to throw, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Big sack there. Bring him back about 6-7 yards. And that's just, once again, that is just what you cannot have if you are Miller. You are, there's going to be a loss of 9. It's a situation where you have got to keep the ball in manageable positions, and whenever you're falling behind the chains so early and so often, it makes things difficult for, especially going up against a Jim Ginsler coach defense. They're going to be extremely aggressive. They're going to blitz a lot. You know that coming in. Got to be ready for it. 19, Hill back to throw once again, and ball up. Ball is intercepted, and that is going back for 6. Corton Parks capitalized on the tipped pass. It was a high pass to Walters. Walters unable to get to it, and Parks caught it, took it in for a 35-yard interception return. Mack set for the extra point. And this one is good. 14-0 your score. We're going to step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night.
Welcome back to Pierce City, as the Pierce City pooch punt was caught by Jack Shearer. Once again, was brought down by Clyde Baker. Miller's going to start the possession on the 37-yard line, and Nate Hill looking to rebound after that interception that went for touchdown the other way. 14-0 your score here, with just under 5 minutes remaining in this opening quarter. And you're listening to an audio-only version of the broadcast here tonight, as we are without power down here on the sideline of, actually down just past the end zone here in Pierce City. Short gain there by Caden Calvin, gain of 1. Brought down by Brock Olivier. So I do just want to apologize for not being any video in this one. Hill looking to pass, and he's got Madsen on the outside. He's got space. He's got room. He's got room. Tries to make a guy miss. He's brought down at about the 30-yard line. Big explosive play there by Jalen Madsen. And that's going to be a gain of about 56 yards. And a big explosive play has Miller within striking distance here, 20 on the 23-yard line, 1st and 10. And that was just a little flat, hit him out in the flat. Just a little drag route, hit him in the flat, and Madsen able to use that electric speed to make a play on it. Nate Hill is going to keep it himself this time, going to try and make the first guy miss, and he's going to be slung down by number 10, Makai Kleibacher. And what a start of the game Kleibacher's had. This Pierce City defense can be extremely well coached, and they got some size up there on the front line. And very experienced as well. 9 of the 11 starters are all seniors. Eli Ginsler, a junior in the defensive backfield. Hill looks for another quick hitter. He's found Lung. Lung makes the first guy miss, and he's brought up for a short gain. That's going to be a bigger gain than I thought. He's going to gain about 6. But that's going to bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and about 5 for this Miller offense. And that's what I really like to see out of this Miller offense. The quick strikes. Just don't force the line to defend for. And quick play up the middle, just a little slip screen. And flag is thrown. It looks like it's going to be a 1st down as of now, but a flag thrown by the side judge. And we're going to see what's called here. Probably going to be a hold if I had to take a guess. An illegal man downfield. On this screen pass, the offensive line, you get about 5 yards to play with, but once you get beyond those 5 yards, then it's and Coach Hill is screaming that was a screen pass. And he is still not happy. That's going to bring up a 4th and 15. But I thought it's supposed to just still be. I didn't know. Don't think it's supposed to be a loss of down. I think it's still third and 15. The now the scoreboard. And another flag comes in. And offsides called against Pierce City. That's going to bring it back a little bit closer. 4th and 10. And the Miller offense still out on the field. They're going to go for it. We're down to about a minute and a half remaining here in this opening quarter of play. And it looks like the hard snap is going to get Pierce City to jump once again into the neutral zone. And the aggressiveness of this Jim Ginsler defense, which is so much of a hallmark, is being used against them. Brilliant strategy there on the part of Hill. As 2 hard snaps has resulted in 10 yards without the ball even being snapped. So what was once a 4th and 15 is now a 4th and 5. As we are now under a minute remaining in this opening quarter. And Hill looks, and he's got a man, Owen Weiss, and he drops it through his hands. He had a first down and potentially more. And an incomplete pass. And that was a quick hitter, and Owen Weiss had plenty of room, but just heard some footsteps and was unable to make the play. That's going to bring the Pierce City's offense back out along with Salazar. Eli Ginsler back under center for the Eagles. Ginsler, a junior. Ginsler is going to hand off this one to number 2, Carson Jesperson, and he's going to be brought down by half the Miller defensive line. And that's going to be a loss of 1. And I would almost imagine that would be the end of the first quarter. As 18 seconds remain and counting down. As we got some sirens in the background. And that, in fact, is going to do it for this opening quarter of play. 14-0 is your score. As the Eagles was able to capitalize on an pick 6 and a penalty on that opening possession, or on the opening kickoff that put them in scoring position early on. We're going to go ahead and step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the number 3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skyland Akins. Thank you for...
Welcome back to Pierce City as the Eagles get the ball to start the second quarter. Hand off to Salazar to start off the quarter, a gain of 5. Brought down by Colton Brown. Up a 3rd and 7 here quick. The Miller defense looking to get a big stop here on 3rd down to continue this keep their offense in it here. The offense had an opportunity to score, just wouldn't turn the ball over on downs after a drop. And this one going a little misdirection here. I believe that's a keeper by Ginsler, and that's going to be gain of about 8. But that's going to be enough for a 1st down. And there wasn't a whole lot of room to run there. Ginsler was just able. He's already not a gigantic guy. However, is able to kind of get underneath the tackle, the defensive line, and able just to make one big step and was able to get there. Pitch to the outside here, going to Jesperson. Jesperson brought down. Brock Olivier on the carry. Tackle made by Charlie Langston, loss of 2. Charlie Langston, big time freshman. He was not in a position to make a big impact at the beginning of the season. But injury to Gavin Hendricks opened up a linebacking spot, and he has absolutely ran with it. And he is proven to be a tremendous piece of this defense. And Salazar breaks through the line. No one is in front of him, and he is going to score. Touchdown, Eagles. Big time run there by Salazar. That's a gain of 89 yards. Or 79 yards, and that is the X factor that is Evans Salazar. And just like that, the Eagles extend their lead 20-0. Now we're down here in the danger zone. Kick is up, and I believe that is going to be, and it is good. And we're going to step aside. 21-0 is your score here with just 2 minutes off the clock of the 2nd quarter of play.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road.
Jalen Madsen back deep. Skyline Akins here in Pierce City as we are cruising through this one. 21-0. Pierce City has the lead, and the kick is going to be carried up the middle. Madsen has some space. He's brought down. But we are in a unique spot here tonight, down here under, just at the foot of the goalpost, as we were unable to get into the press box here in Pierce City due to space restraints. And so we are making do with what we can. That's why we're having audio-only broadcast here tonight. Hopefully I know for a fact next week we'll be back in Miller and we will have our typical broadcast. But we're going to go back to our game shot here, and a run up the middle be brought down for maybe a short gain there. Caden Calvin on the carry. Gain of 1 by Calvin. Calvin broke a couple big ones last week, including a 56-yarder that my partner in crime, Billy Bieber, said if he hadn't drank so much sweet tea at his house this week, then he may have broke that one for a touchdown. But he's not too often he's going to break the long run. However, he's usually good for 4 or 5 yards per carry. And Hill looking to throw it, and dangerous throw can be broken up. But that one was in the realm of a potential interception. Once again, it's going to bring up a 3rd and 9. And this Miller offense just struggling to get anything going here early on. 8:53 remaining here in this opening half of play. 21-0 your score. I also want to apologize in advance if we are, if our connection is broken up instantly. Like I said, we are without any sort of power, so I'm running on my phone's hotspot and a computer. Long pass here by Hill, and this one is broken up again. They were looking for Owen Wheats deep, and that one was thrown into double coverage and unable to get anything going there. I mean, 4th and 9 from the 49-yard line, and the Cardinals are going to have to punt once again. This Miller offense just has not been able to get anything going tonight against a very stingy Pierce City defense, a defense who's already held 2 opponents scoreless in Diamond and Sircoxy, and that we saw how explosive that Sircoxy offense can be. And Owen Weiss looked like he might have was gonna fake it there for a second, and ended up kind of shanking the kick. He kind of took like 4 or 5 steps, like he was gonna take off and run with it, and then ends up kicking it there at the last minute. But not a very good kick. A 13-yard punt going to the 37-yard line. And that brings out the Pierce City offense once again. Last time out, a 69-yard touchdown run by Evan Salazar. Made it a 3-score game. This Miller defense looking to get something going. It's been a struggle for them early on. Salazar brought down for no gain on that carry. First time he's been held to less than 4 yards. 4 yards was his previous low. Obviously broke that 69-yarder. He's over 100 yards, 101 yards for the game. And it's not even halfway through the second quarter yet. This one can go right back to Salazar, and he's got a hole, and he breaks through the line, but brought down by the linebacking core. That's going to be a gain of 12 and a first down. Charlie Langston in on the tackle. But not an ideal start for the drive as the Pierce City Eagles up to the 49-yard line across midfield once again. And this one can go outside. This one can be Kleibacher, and Kleibacher brought down gain of about 6 by Kleibacher. He's been coming into the game, he was not the number 2 back for the Eagles. However, he's got the second most touches and the second most yard team up to this point. Also has a 15-yard touchdown reception that got the party started for this Pierce City offense. 2nd and 4 from the 44-yard line as we approach the 6-minute mark in the second quarter. And it looks like Salazar's going to be brought down for a short gain. It's going to be Jesperson. Being down on the field, it's hard to see what numbers actually end up with the ball. Be a gain of 2 there by Jesperson. Brings up 3rd and short, about 3rd and inches. And ball handed off to Salazar. He didn't get very far. I don't, and he's not going to get anywhere. That's going to be bring up a 4th and inches here. And if I was Pierce City, I would do the exact same thing there. Salazar has been breaking off, been stopped for 0 only twice so far here tonight, and probably only twice here all season long. So, and it looks like a false start's going to push the Eagles back a little bit further. And that's when it's going to bring up an interesting decision, be a 4th and 6 from the 46-yard line.
I would say it's off defense, though.
And they're going to say Miller jumped. And it's, in fact, not going to be a 4th and 6. It's going to be a 1st and 10. After a discussion, they decided that Miller jumped, and that is what caused the false start. And we're going to toss it outside to Salazar. Salazar is going to cut back inside. Another solid gain. Brought down by Owen Dempster. Be a gain of 5 there by Salazar. Up to 118 yards. And the key coming into this one was you were going to have to stop Salazar from the big runs, very similarly to how the key in the Sarkozy game was to limit the big plays from that triple option offense and Noah Garrison. And Garrison, and ball is up and out of the reach of number 1 Corton Parks. Parks already has a touchdown on the defensive side. And it looked like that was Kyler McWilliams in at quarterback for this one. He had had Parks beat, or had his defender beat, but was unable to capitalize on the busted coverage. But as I was saying, Noah Garrison and Evan Salazar, I mean, those are probably the 2 premier running backs in the conference. So that's going to be the focal point of this Pierce City offense, and it has proven to be the case up to this point. Speaking of the Devil, Salazar with another carry, we brought down for a very short gain, not a gain of 1.5. Bring up a 4th and 3. And they're going to line up quick, and it looks like a timeout called by the Cardinals. And that's a good call because there was trips on this left-hand side as we're looking from the east end zone, and only one defender out there. We're going to step aside for just a minute. You are listening to high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to to Pierce City as the Miller defense looking for a big 4th down stop here. 4th and 3 from the 29-yard line. 4 and 14 remaining in this opening half. And ball is going to be McWilliams looking out to the left side. He's rolling out, and he had a man. The timing was just off. And Carson Jesperson was already out of bounds by the time the ball got there. And that's going to be a turnover on downs. And this Miller defense has something to stand on with that turnover on downs. The timeout proved to be useful as McWilliams, he had him. He was just late getting Jesperson the ball. Jesperson just kind of slid. He had right about the 10-yard line, had plenty of room, but the ball was not on time, and Miller's going to take over. Nate Hill and company takes over. First play is going to be to Caden Calvin. Calvin, we gain of about 4 or 5. Good run there. Looked like he was going to be caught just in front of the line. Was able to fall forward, and looks like it'd be a gain of 4. Caden Calvin in the backfield, trips left here. And he's going to go right back to Calvin. Good strong run right up the middle. Going to be met in the gap by several Pierce City Eagles. Led there by number 10, Mekhi Kleibacher. Heard his name a lot already up to this point. He's been everywhere for the Eagles. A little bit of urgency is gonna need to be had by this Miller offense as we are approaching we are now under the 3-minute mark. And this is where I'd like to see a shot play with no highs. It's gonna be a little out route, and Jalen Matson incomplete. Nate Hill 3 for 7 passing up to this point. He's had the big 56-yard strike to Jalen Matson on the flat, and since then it's been absolutely nothing. Bring up a 4th and 4, and Owen Weiss back out to punt. And Billy, maybe they showed no urgency getting the playoff because they felt like they're gonna have to punt anyway. Salazar with a good return there. Looks like we're gonna have a honoring of Pierce City youth football at halftime, as we are accompanied by a conglomeration of the next generation of the Eagles. So if you hear chatter in the background, that's what you're hearing. .227 remaining here in the second quarter of play. The Pierce City Eagles lead 21-0. And a run up the middle once again by Evan Salazar. Salazar, gain of about 2, it looks like. As we are approaching the 2-minute mark. And another run going to go up the middle is had a lot of misdirection action that looked like it was going to be a toss to the outside. I didn't see who ended up getting the ball there.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Salazar with another gain of about 4. Bring up a 3rd and 3. Time is not the friend of the Pierce City offense. However, we've seen how quick strike they can be. Under a minute here remaining in this first half, and they're still running the ball. They got space on the outside. Salazar brought down, and that's going to be enough for a first. Salazar, a gain of about 4 once again. He's up to 129 yards. Eli Ginsler back in at quarterback. The youngest son of Jim Ginsler, you heard him talking about his oldest son, Taylor, being a coach. Ginsler's pass nearly intercepted, deflected down by Jalen Matson. And Billy, my man, if Matson hangs on to that ball, he's got space. Not saying he would have went all the way. However, they would have had an opportunity for a pick 6 of their own. And ball carrier brought down in the backfield. I didn't see who that was. Jesperson, I believe. And it looks like the Eagles are content with going into the half with a 21-point lead. 8 seconds remaining here. And in fact, that is going to be the end of the first half of play. Oh, no, we're going to have a timeout with 2 seconds remaining. Be the first timeout used by Pierce City in this ball game. And it's been a rushing attack for the Pierce City Eagles up to this point. 151 yards on the ground makes up 151 of the 166 yards of total offense. A 15-yard pass from Eli Ginsler went for touchdown to Mekhi Kleebacher. And that has been all the offense for the Pierce City Eagles. Mekhi Kleebacher also 17 yards on the ground. And Eli Ginsler with 8 yards as well. 129 from Salazar. Just under 3 seconds remaining here in this opening half of play. One final play. And Ginsler, quick little screen pass. And he's got a little bit of space here, but he's going to be brought down. Pass complete to Jesperson, but going to be brought down. Gain of 13. That's going to would be enough for a first down, but that's going to end it as Jesperson was stopped shy of the end zone. Okay. 21-0 is your score going into the halftime break. For the Pierce City Eagles, Eli Ginsler, 2 of 4 passing, 28 yards. Evan Salazar, 129 yards on 15 carries. Jesperson has -1 yard. Ginsler with 8. Mekhi Kleebacher with 17 yards. And Olivier with -2. Receiving the ball, Mekhi Kleebacher has 15 yards and a touchdown. Jesperson has 13 on that final little screen pass to cap out the Pierce City Eagles offensive for the first half. For the Miller Cardinals, Nate Hill, 3 for 8 passing, 62 yards, a 56-yard pass to Jalen Matson was the big strike. Jared Long has a gain of 6, and the rushing offense has been just as tough as Caden Calvin has 18 yards. However, Nate Hill's -10 nearly counteracts that. And Jared Long, who had a big day on the ground before, is down to has 1 carry for 0 yards here in this one. Thank you for tuning in. We're at halftime here. 21-0 is your score. Pierce City leads the Miller Cardinals. We're going to go ahead and step aside. We're going to send it back to our highlight video from last week, where we're going to wrap up the end of the Skyline game before talking with our players of the game, Nate Hill, Caden Calvin, and Nate Hill. Be taking over kicking duties, and he's gonna pop it straight. He's gonna be attacked, taking over kicking duties, and he's gonna pop it straight up. And if that went 10 yards, that's Miller's ball. Man in motion, that was Calvin, and Hill's gonna run up the middle. And he is in. Touchdown, Cardinals. 5-yard touchdown run by Nate Hill. He was scrambling to the outside. And this one is going to be kicked to the outside. It's going to be number 1, Mason Bilbo. And he's going to be attacked and brought down. I think it was, the punter probably could have done a little bit of acting and got that call. Nate Hill is going to keep it himself, and the ball comes out, recovered by the Tigers. Twists and turns, and momentum in the game of football is a crazy thing. As ball to Quentin Butts up the middle, Shen tackles, and first play of the series is a touchdown for the Tigers. And that fumble proves to be costly as Miller takes the ball back over here, looking to, and the ball comes out again. Skyline football. That time it was Calvin. And Jay, the first down play, keeper by King, and this one is good for a touchdown. Live to play another down. Hill's going to scramble out to the left here. He's going to look deep and overthrown and intercepted. The third turnover of this opening quarter. Chance to have a full drive. And Bebo with the ball on the screen pass, and it's not going to matter. He's going to score. Touchdown, Tigers. Empty backfield here. Jared Long in motion, and Hill's going to go up the middle. Dives for the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Cardinals. Hill split backfield here. Jared Long and Caden Calvin. This one's going to go to Long up the middle, and he breaks a tackle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals.
Jared Long takes the handoff from number 9.
16 yards. And this one going to Calvin up the middle. He dives. Touchdown, Cardinals.
For 24, kicking Povich to the middle of the field, having a little conversation about pretty much all the personal fouls that's going on. I bet you're close up to 20 dirty laundry on the field tonight. It is absolutely
Crazy. It's a good ball game, but
Hill hands off to Calvin. Calvin, big hole here. He's going. He's got space. He's brought down at the 35. About 30, 45 seconds. And this one, big carry there by Long. He's going to make the nice little slice and dice and through the Skyline Tigers defense. 36-yard touchdown run by
Hill back in the game, and he is going to, and that's going to do it. Miller Cardinals 44, Tigers 24. the Cardinals can score on senior night and pick up a huge district win ahead of the district tournament. The Cardinals move to 2-5 for the season. And three in conference. I'm so excited for just a moment.
That feels great.
So that's off, Rocky. Obviously you went down, scored the touchdown first, then field the next 3 possessions. Just what was being said, and how were you guys able to bounce back?
I mean, we didn't say much. We just battled back, fought our emotions, and then went down and scored, and that got our momentum back.
A week removed from a game where I believe you guys finished with 10 rushing yards. You guys got over 300. All 3 of you guys were either over 100 or at 97. Just what was the game plan coming in with the run game?
Run a lot, get a lot of yards, and score touchdowns.
So that's obviously a big win for district seeding. Just obviously another big one coming up with Pierce City next week. How are you looking to use the win here tonight?
Just momentum. I mean, that's all we can do. We got to come and practice hard, and then go out and show ourselves.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Player game number 1, quarterback Nate Hill. Yeah, absolutely. Number 2, Jared Long. Jared, first off, using a little bit of a different role. Back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. You're at 97 rushing yards. And you just got to talk about that change.
Yeah, I mean, we talked all year, I'll be throwing around whatever. I said, I'll be all right at that, Just, we pushed a lot, give me the ball, And I think Caden has a really good back. So, I mean, if me and Caden get balling for 100 yards a game, I mean, it will be tough to stop.
Yeah, and, just some of the, I want you to kind of hit on the same things I asked Nate. I mean, rough day, running the ball last week. Obviously you had a big day. Just how easy is, or how does it make the offense run smoother whenever the run game's running like that?
I mean, if we can get the run game and they suck in, and then we open the passing game up, and I mean, and then once we get both going, I mean, we'll be hard to stop.
Big win for district seeding here. How are you hoping to use this moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, momentum. Like Nate said, we lost really 2 tough games by 6. I mean, we were in it fourth quarter and had 2 really big losses. But, you got to bounce back and then use the momentum for next week and then next week after that.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jared. Jared Long, senior receiver turned running back here tonight. Colvin, was it? Fantastic night. 120 yards on the ground. Just what were you seeing out of this matchup?
Oh, our linemen, they're just we were on them all practice. Tuesday through Thursday, we were on them, and they pulled it out, and they were blocking great tonight. So,
you ended up without a touchdown here tonight. However, you were. I forgot to mark that down. That's my bad. Opportunity for a couple more, but getting caught from behind a couple times.
Yeah.
I mean, looks like you're gonna have to work on your speed or something.
Probably. Hey, somebody's got to be a power back.
So a bounce back, after controversy there early, a couple fumbles, interception. Just how were you guys able to bounce back after a rough start?
We just came together, and we fixed it. That's all you can do.
End you here with same way that I ended the last 2. Big win, district seedings. How are you hoping to use this momentum moving forward?
Just kick some butt, gotta keep it rolling.
Absolutely. Kevin, thank you for joining us. Senior running back, one of our 3 player of the game's selection.
Thank you.
Thanks, Caden. And now for the main.
Yeah, man. Coming in for these. Man.
These are a lot more fun. Absolutely. So, well, Coach, I mean, obviously, just a big win here in Skyland. We talked a lot, in our pregame interview, just about how big, this was going to be. If you're able to get it done, and now that it's done, just how's it feeling?
I mean, it feels really good. because I mean we've stressed that these kids have so much potential and athleticism and just so much football talent that not a lot of people know it because we do things to hinder ourselves. And so it just feels really good that, we challenge them and they responded in a really, really good way. I'm real proud of them, man, because it's we put some pressure on them. And, when you're 1-5, there's always pressure, mostly on in this seat, and you try to deflect it from the kids. But, we're like, no, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on us, all 36 of us, or 46 staff. And, man, they just ate it up and did a really good job. Real proud of them.
So, it has to say a lot about, how your kids was bouncing back. I mean, personal fouls was a big story here in this one. Never seemed to get overly flustered, and was able to kind of stay even keel, with the exception of a couple instances. But just what does that say about your team, being able to, be past that?
We hear a lot. Some kids made some mistakes early in the year, and we've never been able to get away from that. Even though how much we've played, we've corrected ourselves. A lot of people like to I guess say negative things about our kids and over some mistakes as 14, 15, 16-year-olds.
Yeah.
And and we've just stressed, do the right thing, play football, and then good things will happen. And to see this, it gets close, and and we're still working on it, but they did a really good job of taking care of just playing football. Whatever the noise is around you, just let it be, but play football, because right now we were struggling, and you have to take care of this, and for this to have a clean game ourselves, but it got a little bit, but for them to hold their social dignity, or composure, the right word, and to overcome a lot of that and come out with a W, I'm really super proud of them.
You made a couple changes. Obviously, we talked a lot about Jared, getting out, moving to the backfield. But one change I think is going to kind of go under the radar is at the kicking position.
Yeah.
Gerald went in, obviously with that opening kickoff, recovering that opening one, and nearly got another onside as well. And just kind of what went into some of these changes. And
yeah, Gerald Mark, he did a really good job in JV, and each week he just keeps kicking it better and better. And we're like, okay, J-Rod just scores touchdowns. Do we really want to put him out to put the pressure to kick? And we're like, hey, this kid's kicking well in JV and in practice, so let's give him the opportunity. And dadgummit, if he don't come out and kick a sand wedge, up there, and we get it right out of the gate, it's unbelievable. But he did a really good job for being a freshman to come out there, and a lot of pressure, and I'm really proud of him.
Absolutely big win here. Getting a little bit of momentum moving forward. Pierce City coming up next. Another big district game. Just what are you hoping to take from tonight moving forward?
It's the momentum and the confidence that you can move the football in a couple different ways, and we made some adjustments to try to move the football a little better, and so it worked. But Skyline, to their credit, they did a really good job early to try to take some of those things away. But we were able to overcome it in some different avenues, some different sets, and for we just want to keep that momentum of all phases of football, and it makes people not know what's coming, and so it feels really, really good, and we just want to keep this thing going now.
Absolutely, Coach. I know we got a long.
Welcome back to Pierce City, where it is halftime here, and the pep band of the Pierce City Eagles saying "Don't stop believing," and that is I'm sure that is the message that Coach Hill had for the Miller Cardinals as well. Down 21-0 going into the halftime break. We're going to go ahead and kick it down to another short video that we got while we get ready to start off the second quarter. Well, I'll be right back. Got a couple things you got to take care of before the second half kicks off.
Hello, everybody. Skyline Akins with Southwest Missouri Sports here. Joined with me is Laura Walden of the Clever Barn. First off, just thank you for taking a little bit of time and talking with us.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
So, Clever Barn here in Clever, Missouri, kind of event venue. Just kind of tell me a little bit more about the about your venue.
Yeah, it was built in the 1880s, and my husband and I have done all the work on it to create a very relaxing, laid-back feel as soon as you get here. And we have every kind of event you can think of out here. We have weddings, birthday parties, anniversaries, karaoke nights. We have ladies' nights, guys' nights, movie parties, a little bit of everything really out here.
Yeah, it really was a there's something for everybody. You were taking me around here and showing me there was everything from a putting green to tiki bars. And,
yeah.
It really is there is something for everybody.
Oh, well, thank you.
So when did you guys open?
We opened up May 17th, 2014. So we just now celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
10 years.
This summer, yeah, we went just like that. And we've just been having a blast, and we're always working on it. And it's just the two of us, and a lot of work, but we love what we're doing, have huge passion for it, and you just never know what you're going to see every time you come out. So we get a kick out of that.
What was your inspiration kind of behind wanting to open something like this up?
Well, you're probably going to laugh at this. Actually, we used to have parties here back when it was just a nasty old barn, and we're having a party upstairs, our Waldoween, which is our Halloween party we have every year, with our last name being Walden. It started with Waldo. So we're having our Waldoween back in 2013, and we had like 50 plus, people, and just having a blast, and at that time it was just nasty, Yeah. And as they were leaving, we were out there by the bonfire, and I said, what do you think about turning this whole thing into a venue, kind of thing? And he looked at me and said, I think you're nuts. And I said, well, I think so too, but you don't know till you try. So we started that very next morning, and we opened up 6 months later. And ever since then, we just get busier and busier and more known, We're really, really excited with where it's gone.
Yeah, so, you kind of talked about, you host all kinds of events, parties, guys' nights, girls' nights, weddings. I think I've seen pictures on Facebook of I don't know if there was like the Clever prom or not prom, but like there was like some event out here, I think a couple of years ago or something like that. But just kind of talk about what are some of your favorite events to put on.
My favorite events, I would say the most events we have out here are my Sweet 16 birthday parties. Huh. They have an absolute blast. Usually the moms are down here playing board games or shooting pool or whatever. And the girls are all upstairs, and they're singing karaoke, and they're dancing and having a little party, and they get the whole barn to themselves. And that's something else too. They can either bring in everything, or I can take care of everything and have it all ready for them, when they arrive. So I try to be really accommodating, for whatever they have in mind.
Yeah, you've been telling me, there's always something going on down here. Roughly, how many events do you guys host, every year?
Oh, Lord. I would have to say at least 100, probably.
Wow.
Yeah, with everything, because some weekends are double booked, Sometimes I'm booked from Thursday through Sunday. It varies, and we're open all year round, so.
So, obviously, Clever Barn, not all your business comes from Clever, but, just kind of talk about, the relationship that you kind of have with the community out here.
Oh, yeah, my gosh. I love having my open hangout nights, and like you say, we've got the putting green, the bowling, the kids zone, the karaoke dance floor, big bonfire pit, out the back. It's just we wanted it to be a laid-back spot where people could come out and have a good time. And then now we got our food truck, so now we're doing that as well. and we don't charge anything, for individual things that they're going to do, and people appreciate that because, the economy, so I still want them to have a place to come out and have a good time, but not, break the bank,
Right.
So.
Yeah, so if someone wants to, schedule an event, whether it's a, if it's just like a group hangout or, a Sweet 16 birthday party, what's the process look like, to get scheduling an event?
Welcome back to Pierce City. We are back here, getting ready to kick off the second half. Let's take a look at what's going on around Southwest Missouri. Starting in the mid-lates, 21-7, the Fairgrove Eagles lead the Forsyth Panthers. A good, interesting one match starting out in Ash Grove, 0-0 in the second quarter. Now, we talked about this maybe Ash Grove's got a legit shot to knock off the top-ranked Comets. Right now, it's anybody's ballgame, 0-0. Nixa leads Ozark 27-3. Seneca over East Newton 21-7. Webb City is holding steady with Carthage 7-7. Warsaw leads Midway 21-0. Nevada up on Miller's Lawrence County Brethren 28-14 over Mount Vernon. Stratford leads Clever 29-0. Branson defeated Rogersville last night 56-14. Liberty defeated is up on Salem 29-0. Some other ones of note: Lebanon up on Glendale 21-14. Cassville leads Monette 14-8. Sir Coxey leads Diamond 22-6. Stockton over Skyline 29-0. Lockwood leads Appleton City 30-22 in some Big 8 action in some of our games of the week. And McDonald County over Central Kansas City 42-0. McDonald County is searching for their first win of the season. And we are ready for the second half as the Miller Cardinals are going to receive the opening kickoff of the second half. Good kick there. And I'm telling you, Pierce City's probably got the best kicker we have seen all year long. He has absolutely had a boot on him. And that is, where is he? Leighton Mack. Couldn't find the name there. Miller starts the drive on their own 24-yard line. And they're looking to get something going offensively as they were held to just, that's not what I wanted. Just 70 yards of offense in that first half. Caden Calvin with the carry to open things up, and he's brought down, looks like he got maybe a short, very short gain, maybe a gain of 1. This is a game that has some big time district seeding implications. Miller was looking to maybe jump up to a position to host the play-in game, which right now I think they're still in position to, but we'll have to see what Kabul and Skyline does. Jared Long goes to the outside, and this is something that they had a lot of success with last week. And he's brought down on the outside. Brought down by number 5, Dylan Kleibacher. Gain of 1 there by Jared Long. 3rd and 8 from the 26-yard line. 1st and 2nd down, you got to put yourself in a decent position here. Hill scrambling out to the right. He's looking for a man. He looks like he's got Weiss down field, and a low throw, incomplete, and pass intended for Jared Long. Jared Long coming over in the flat. Would not have had enough for a first down there. Looked like deeper downfield. He had Owen Weiss for an opportunity for a conversion getting pass, but was unable to get the ball out there, and it's going to be a 3-and-out. And the punt is up and gonna be kind of shanked there. Decent bounce is gonna keep it in or give it another bounce, but still not ideal for the Miller Cardinals. That's gonna bring Evan Salazar back out on to the field. He's up to 129 yards already, which, sounds like a lot. However, a gain of 69 and a gain of 12, only 2 explosive plays he's broken off. And that's kind of been the key. If you would have told me coming into this one, you'd only have 1 big explosive play, I would say Miller has a pretty good shot to be up in this ball game. However, that is not the case. 21-0 is the score. Salazar with the carry there. Be a gain of 1. About a gain of 2. The impressive thing about Salazar, he has not gone backwards at all. Let's go right back to him, Salazar, once again. And he is carrying defenders. Still going. Actually, that's not Salazar. That's number 10, Mekhi Kleibacher. And he was carrying the Miller defense on his back, which is unfortunate for the Cardinals because he is wearing green. Be a gain of 8. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 1. Pierce City, I believe that's Salazar on the carry. Nope, Jesperson. Gonna pick up about 2, but that's gonna be enough for that first down. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Pierce City driving once again. They're once again across midfield. I just want to say thank you guys again for tuning in. I know less than ideal conditions here with an audio only broadcast due to being out of the press box and not having any power down here on the field. Another good strong run, 1 cut, and up the middle goes the Salazar. Gain of about 2. Brought down by Jared Long. Pierce City looking to exert their will once again on this opening drive. And big run there by Salazar. Only had 1 man to beat, but he's brought down. Gain of 15 yards there for Salazar. He's approaching that 150-yard mark. We're down to 7 minutes remaining here in this 3rd quarter. And it's weird. I feel like the second halves of games all season long have gone a lot quicker than the first halves have. And going back to the outside and brought down, that one was Jesperson. Gain of about 4. Don't go anywhere after the game. We're still going to have our Southwest Missouri Sports Player of the Game along with the winning coach. As of right now, I think my vote's got to go towards Evan Salazar. And Salazar with the ball again. Nope, Jesperson. I'm telling you, it's hard to see on field level who's got the ball, what numbers got it. Bring up be a gain of 6 there. Bring up a 3rd and inches. Salazar in the backfield here. Nope, Jesperson in the backfield. This one going to go to Jesperson up the middle. He's going to make the first guy miss. Get to the outside. He will score. Touchdown, Eagles. 21-yard touchdown run there by number 2, Carson Jesperson. And the Eagles extend their lead 27-0 here in the 3rd quarter of play. And Mac ready for the extra point. He's been perfect so far here tonight. And with where he's kicking from, I'm hoping he stays that way. Actually, it's going to be 20. Yeah, it's still Leighton Mac. And this one up and good. 28-0 is your score here. 5:40 remaining. We're going to step aside. You're listening to high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Pierce City as Miller gets the ball back. And it is football weather out here. Let me tell you what, it is. By the time whenever we left the house this afternoon, it was, I was debating if I needed to wear a hoodie. It was so warm. It's about 75 degrees whenever we left. Trying to pull up the Weather Channel app and see, or KY3, see where we're at now, but it has dropped. It is getting chilly here at 8:25 p.m. It is 58 degrees. It feels like 57. It's beautiful out here. It feels like football season. Penalty's going to push Miller back on the kickoff return. 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. And first play goes to Calvin. He'll be brought down for a short gain. Getting about 3. 5 minutes remaining here in this third quarter of action. Nate Hill with a single in the backfield. Lung goes in motion. Lung is going to get the fake, but keeper by Hill, and he's going to be brought down immediately by Luke Perry. And Luke Perry, a big boy on that defense, as that defensive line position, that defensive end position, rather. And he just kind of grabbed Hill by the shoulder pads and brought him down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 7. Gives Nate Hill a gain of 0 there, which was fortunate. I wasn't sure if he got back to the line of scrimmage. Hill split backfield. Owen Dempster joins Calvin in the backfield, and Hills looks for Madsen. Throw is not there and incomplete. And a tough night for Nate Hill continues as he is now, his last 6 passes have been incomplete, and that's going to bring out another punt for Miller. And rush is on, nearly blocked. But Salazar gets it and refuses to go down. It takes about 4 Cardinals to get him down. Or that's Dylan Clivebaker. The Pierce City Eagles are going to start on their own end of the field here. On the Miller 41-yard line. 3 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this third quarter. And first play goes up the middle to Salazar. Flag comes in from behind, usually signaling a hold. Indeed, that's what it's going to be, and that's going to push Pierce City back 10 yards. Be a 2nd and 20. $28-0 is the score here on Pierce City's homecoming game. And run to the outside. That one was Jesperson. Nope, Mackay Clivebaker. A gain of about 4. I was going to gain of 7. And I apologize for getting all these names and distances wrong. It is tricky out here to see. It's a difficult. 2nd and 13 for Pierce City from their own 44-yard line. And man, it goes back in motion, and it's going to be number 10, Clivebaker, with a bunch of open space up the middle, and he's going to be brought down. That's going to be a gain of 44-19. A gain about 37 there by Clivebaker. First and 10 from the Cardinals 19. Pierce City looking to punch it in once again. And a pass there by Ginsler, and he's going to find Clyde Baker, and Clyde Baker's going to get in for his second receiving touchdown of the game. 35-0. Pierce City leads it. 19-yard touchdown from Eli Ginsler to Mekhi Clyde Baker. Clyde Baker, 2 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Can't get more efficient than that. Extra point is up. Extra point through the uprights. Oh, it's no good. I've just gotten so used to those going through. We're going to step aside here. We have a 34-0 game here with minute 47 remaining in the third quarter. Welcome back to Miller. 34-0 is your score after that 19-yard touchdown pass from Eli Ginsler to Mekhi Clyde Baker. Clyde Baker's had a big game here. 2 touchdowns, and he's been just about everywhere, it feels like. Pierce City's kick is up, and it's going to Jalen Matson. It's a short. Matson catches it on the run. He's got a little bit of space. Tries to bust it back to the outside, and he hit hard there by Brock Olivier. The Cajun, the raging Cajun, in on the tackle. Say thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you to our generous sponsors, the Clever Barn and the Burger Shack. The Burger Shack, that was my pregame meal once again today. Big shout out to Tyler Snyder and the cook Matt. I told him I was going to give him a big shout out after he was yelling at me for not giving him one last week. But huge shout out to Matt from the Burger Shack. Delicious grilled chicken sandwich. As always, fantastic place. Go eat there before the senior night game tomorrow or next Friday night in Miller. It's right by the stadium. There's no reason not to go. Stop by there. Delicious food. You can almost see the game from your seat in the restaurant. No reason not to. Delicious food, great service. The Caden Calvin run to start the series goes for 6, and flags are thrown. Going to be a false start. "57 seconds remaining here." Oh, it's going to be an offsides called. They said the defense jumped, and I think it was Brock Olivier that jumped. I heard a big "let's get going, Brock" from Coach Jim Ginsler on the sideline. And speed option out here to Caden Calvin. Flag is thrown. This one I think is going to be a hold. But I have been wrong more than once here tonight. Indeed, I'm not wrong on that one. That one is going to be a hold on the Miller Cardinals. This offense looking for their first points of the game after their top scoring output last week, 44 points on the Skyline Tigers. They are in danger of being shut out here. 34-0 your score, less than a minute left in the third quarter. And it doesn't get any easier for the Miller Cardinals next week as the Marionville Comets come to town. Nate Hill is going to look deep. He's looks for Madsen and incomplete. You know, and I've been would like to see a few more deep shots. I want to see them get the Jared Lung involved a little bit more here. He is your most dynamic playmaker, and credit to Pierce City. You know, we talked with Coach Ginsler, and he said they are extremely aware of who Jared Lung is and how Miller likes to use him. So they have made it a point to make sure he doesn't get his touches. And so far, they've done a pretty good job of it. 3 touches total for Jared Long. Run of 0, run for 1, and 1 catch for 6 yards. It's been tough sledding for the senior. But we're going to get a little screen pass here. And he's going to break to the outside. This is what Lung can do. And he's brought down. I'm not sure if he's going to get there enough for the first down, but he's going to make it awfully close. Catch of gain of about 10 on that play. And that should be it for the third quarter of play. And in fact, that is going to be it. We're going to step aside as we get ready for fourth quarter action here in Pierce City. 34-0 your score. Eagles lead the Cardinals.
Thank you for tuning in to this edition of Friday Night Football on Southwest Missouri Sports. This broadcast would not be possible without the help of our generous sponsors.
The Burger Shack is a proud sponsor of Miller Cardinals Athletics and is the taste of game day. Tyler Snyder and his crew is guaranteed to bring you the best burgers in Miller. They are located right by the high school in the shade of the football stands. Be sure to stop by for your next pregame meal.
If you like old barns and rustic themes, be sure to check out the Clever Barn for your upcoming event of any kind. The Clever Barn was built in the 1880s, and just wait until you see what Randy and Laura Walden have done out there. Located just a few miles south of Clever on Jasmine Road, they were recently voted the #3 wedding venue by SWMO Magazine, and they can't wait to host your event. Give them a call at 417-350-2343.
Now back to the voice of Southwest Missouri Sports, Skylan Akins. Thank you for tuning in to this edition.
Welcome back to Pierce City as the 4th and 1 play is going to be converted. A quarterback sneak there by Jared Long. Or Caden Calvin is going to get the carry. Like I said, I can't see out here, but it's going to get about 1.5 yards. But that's going to be enough for a first down. Got some hot action going on in around the area. Fair Grove leads Forsyth 34-13 at the halftime break. We have a score in Ash Grove as Marionville takes a 14-8 lead over as the ball, a deep shot to Jared Long, caught behind the back. Another one, Courtney Parks. What a snag there. And Long is hurt. But what a play. A 36. See where they spot it. A 35-yard reception to Jared Long. And that is what I've been wanting to see. The Pierce City defense has been pretty aggressive up front. Let's see a deep shot to your best playmaker. Make him make a play. And that's exactly what he did. And a screen pass is going to be sniffed out by this offense or by this defense. And another sack for the Pierce City defense. Loss of 7 is going to bring up a 2nd and 17 from the 22. Just like that, as the Miller Cardinals got a little bit of momentum, it is shot right back in the foot. Seneca holds a 28-7 lead over East Newton. Carthage Webb City in a tight one, 14-13. Nevada up on Mount Vernon, 34-21 at the halftime break. Mount Vernon might be in a little bit of trouble there. And Hill looking to pass again, this time for Long once again. And, oh, he drops it. Long had an opportunity to get the Cardinals on the board. A ball was slightly underthrown, but I think that worked in favor of the senior receiver, as it kind of had number 10, Makai Kleibacher, kind of turned around. But that's going to bring up a 3rd and 17 from the 22-yard line. It was kind of an awkward angle for Lung having to kind of stop and go back. Some confusion from the Miller Cardinals. Man goes in motion. Nate Hill looking, and he's going to go deep once again and intercepted. Flag on the play. But we're going to have a return. Jalen Madsen thinks it's going to go against Pierce City. But man, I'm telling you, Nate Hill had Jared Lung in the middle of the field once again. Nobody was there. Could have had 6 there. We're going to see what the call is. Going to be a pass interference on Pierce City. And Jalen Madsen was correct with his pleading to the officials. And that should be a first down. Foul happened in the end zone. Or maybe it's just going to be a half distance penalty. I'm not sure where they're going to. It's going to be a 3rd and 5. Nate Hill's rolling out to his left. And he's looking, he's throwing, and that one is a touchdown. Owen Weiss. And he might have got away with a little bit of a push in the back, but no flag out. And a touchdown for Owen Weiss, a 6-yard completion. Eli Ginsler couldn't believe it. Flag wasn't thrown. I was kind of right there with him. I thought there was more contact on that one than there was on the previous play. Miller going for 2 here. Nate Hill in that monster look, and Nate Hill is going to run into the end zone. Flag is thrown. No signal yet on what the penalty is. An illegal procedure on Miller. Legal formation is what they're going to call. And it looks like the offense for the Cardinals might be back out there. Yeah, it looks like Hill getting the play call here. and offense back out here for the 2-point conversion from about the 10-yard line. Hill looking. He's under more duress. He's going to roll back out. He's going to throw it. And a circus catch by Blake Walters is good. Ball was tipped up. Ball was tipped up, brought down, but Blake Walters with the 2-point conversion. What a play there. 34-8 your score. The Miller offense does, in fact, get on the board. We'll step aside. You're watching high school football here on Southwest Missouri Sports. Welcome back to Pierce City, where the Miller Cardinals set to kick the ball away after scoring, finally getting on the board after 3 long quarters. An onside kick bounces around and just going to roll out of bounds, gets underneath the hands of Blake Walters. Walters just made that circus catch on that 2-point conversion, but that one gets underneath his arms, and the Pierce City Eagles going to take over. 9:47 remaining, and we are reaching the point in the high school football season where my water has gradually gotten colder as it sat out. The temperatures are in fact dropping.
42 to 21 of them, I think.
Ball comes out for just a split second, but is recovered there by Salazar. And Nevada scores again over Mount Vernon, 42-21. That's one that I didn't quite see coming, especially after the Ozone went out and had to put together a nice article about their duo of Gavin Johnston and Braden Dodson. But it looks like that duo is in danger of getting upset. Actually, not really an upset. Nevada's a very good football team, as well as the Eli Ginzer pass is going to fall harmlessly to the ground. Marionville still 14-8 at the halftime break. No update on that one. 29-7. Clever found the end zone. Republic over Neosho 34-0. But definitely keeping an eye on that Marionville Ash Grove game. Still one possession, 14-8. Really a touchdown and a extra point would put the Pirates on top. And Pierce City, and a big hole opens up for Salazar. And the line just split like the Red Sea. Gain of 17 for Salazar.
Football weather, but I'd rather be inside.
It is definitely football weather. However, we're just about a month away from high school basketball tipping off.
56. It's colder than 56.
The official weather says 56 degrees, but I'm not buying it. It's getting chilly as Jesperson is stopped for a short gain. Call it a gain of 2 as we came down towards 8 minutes remaining in this ball game. This has been a quick ball game. Just been an hour 51 minutes since we kicked off here. The Pierce City Eagles kept the ball on the ground and has ran very efficiently. Salazar up to 164 yards on the ground. It's still just that one explosive play is categorized by a play of 20 yards or more. This one brought down Jesperson, the ball carrier. Brought down by a flock of Cardinals. Bring up a 3rd and 5 from the 28-yard line. And I'm telling you, Salazar has lived up to the billing here tonight. Like I said, only technically one explosive run, but he's gone backwards once and has been stopped for less than 2 yards only 3 times all game long. Had that 69-yard touchdown, and it looks like he's going to break a couple more. Kyler McWilliams goes deep, incomplete. Pierce City runs the 2 quarterback system with Eli Ginsler and Kyler McWilliams. Bring up a 4th and 5. We are now under 7 minutes. Empty backfield. And Dylan Becker in at quarterback now. Running a little bit of wildcat here, and he's going to take off to the right side, going to try to get to the outside. The freshman's going to get caught. I don't know if he got there. And it is, in fact, going to be a 1st and 10. However, Miller takes over. Well, Billy, I'm not calling it a comeback yet, but a score and a turnover on downs, Miller maybe has something cooking here. Long way to go. I'm not sure that the clock is not their friend.
It'd be like a crock pot, take all day to cook.
Billy's saying it would have to be like a crock pot. It's gonna have to take all day. Carry there by Calvin. Gain of 2. And like I said, it's not going to get any easier for Miller coming in next week as they get to see the number 1 team in the state. We'll see if they are still the number 1 team in the state come next week. And Jared Long going to the out. Actually, I think that's Madsen going to the outside. And we go to Blake Walters. Gain of 1, or that'd be a loss of 4. Bring up a 3rd and 11. Marionville in that 1-score game with Ash Grove. Be curious. I'm interested to see what's going on there in Ash Grove. See if there's been any updates. Sometimes the Ozone app is updated few and far between.
$14.
And indeed, Ash Grove has found the end zone. 14-14. The extra point or the conversion. We're not there. We don't know what they tried to do. Was no good. 14-14. Ash Grove and the Marionville Comets are tied in the 4th quarter. And a sack by Nate Hill. I'm not sure if the crock pot is turned on all the way.
Forgot to plug it in.
We forgot to plug the crock pot in. 4.5 minutes here remaining in this one, and 4th 11 is going to be punted by Owen Weiss, and it's going to be down to around the 50-yard line.
Say this one's about over. Couple first downs, they can run the clock.
Pierce City a couple first downs away from just being able to clock it and call it a dominating performance over arch rival Miller Cardinals. Kleibacher in at the tailback position, and he's going to be carry the ball and be brought down. Kleibacher's had a pretty good day. 2 touchdowns through the air, 77 yards on the ground. Don't go anywhere after this one. We're gonna talk with our player of the game, Evan Salazar, and Coach Jim Ginsler. Getting a 4 there by Kleibacher brings up a first down. 1st and 10 from the 44. And this one's frustrating. After about 3 weeks of seeing really good football here from the Miller Cardinals, where they had an opportunity to knock off this Ash Grove team and we've been talking about in a dogfight with Marionville. Had an opportunity to knock off Sir Coxey, and then a big 20-point win over Skyline last week. Looked like they had some momentum going for them, but that momentum was brought to an abrupt stop here tonight, as it looks like it's going to be a 34-8 defeat at the hands of the Pierce City Eagles. Second and 10 after the gain of 0 by Kleibacher. Kleibacher still in at tailback. I imagine we've seen the last of Salazar here tonight. No reason to have him in and risk getting hurt, as he's the type of guy that in a postseason matchup, I mean, you don't want to see a guy as explosive as he can be. Taking a look at what's coming next. Miller, they will host Marionville next week. We'll see if they're still sitting at 7 and undefeated, or not. But it will be Miller's military appreciation night. Always a special night there in Miller, as Kleibacher's gonna get to the outside. He's thinking, let's make it 40. He's gonna get pushed out of bounds. But a gain of 18. And Kleibacher's is all of a sudden over 100 yards rushing. Down to a minute and a half remaining in this ball game.
Number you want?
Let's go 9.
1 to 9.
Yep.
Salazar.
Yep. We are just a few snaps away from calling this one a ball game. As let's go ahead and continue to take a look at what's coming up next, as we are under 1 minute remaining, 55 seconds. As for Pierce City, they have a big one. That's the Stockton Tigers have quietly, they don't have that state ranking by their name. However, they have been very, very, very solid after that week 1 defeat to, or by the Marionville Comets. Definitely not a loss to scoff at. They're sitting at 6-1. They're going to move to 7-1 after having a big lead over